Me, man. We're back in the building. We're back in the building. Let me know if y'all hear me. Team, who you riding with? Let me know who y'all riding with. We're gonna talk about 50 again. Who you who you riding? Who you riding with? We'll get back to the festivities. Give me a second, y'all. I don't know what happened. They said that the volume, there was no volume, they couldn't hear me. So I'm doing part two. Give me 1 second, y'all. Who are you rolling with? Who you rolling with? Are you rolling with 50 or are you rolling with Papoose? Papoose. Let me know who y'all rolling with. Who y'all rolling with tonight? Who y'all rolling with? Y'all rolling with 50? Y'all rolling with Papoose? Like I said, like I'm gonna say it again. I think Papoose is well deserving to clap back at 50. I think 50. I'm getting tired of 50 trolling. I'm getting tired of 50 trolling. Let me know if y'all back in the building. Let me know if y'all hear me. For some reason that I wasn't having any sound. I was dealing with a lot of sound issues. I don't know why. Let me see if I'm good on here. When you guys come in, just let me know if you can hear me. Just let me know if you can hear me. When you guys come in, we got a couple people in the building. Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, but in terms of 50, man, he just trolls all the time, bro. Like he just trolls and trolls and trolls, and he has so many enablers. The man has so many damn enablers. You guys think that everything he does is funny. You think that it's cute that he'd be doing these things. Who did Papoose really bother? Papoose minding his business. He's in his relationship with his strong face girlfriend, Clarissa Shields. Respected him. Why 50 putting up things and posting things to disrupt their marriage, disrupt their relationship, disrupt what they got going on? Why he even worried about it? Well, like, why is he poking his nose into this issue? 50 be doing too much. And he has a sea of people who enable him. People that love the documentaries, they love the Power series, they love his rap career, they love that he goes on and says these things. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of 50. I'm tired of the trolling. I'm tired of y'all enabling him. The nigga needs therapy. 50 Cent needs some therapy. The nigga traumatized. No, the nigga been shot, what, 6 times, 7 times? I don't know. The nigga dealing with all types of abandonment issues. Y'all niggas will sit there and know that these niggas be traumatized, and y'all be sitting there laughing at them dealing with their trauma and their hurt. 50 Cent is traumatized. He's dealt with abandonment issues. He's dealt with relationship issues. He's dealt with, hurt and pain by way of being shot. He's been betrayed by people he loved. He's dealing with a lot of issues. The nigga need help. Because my thing is, I don't understand why he's coming at Pap. What did Pap do? We sitting back and we don't even know what Papoose did. What did Papoose do to 50 Cent? What did he do? I understand his beef with Jimmy. I understand his beef with the rest of those guys, Mano and all those guys. What's up, Sinclair? Sinclair, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I didn't know what was going on with the sound. Because I never clicked mute on my side, but yeah, I didn't know what was going on. It was some people in here too. I was sad I had to stop the live because we was in such of a groove, but for some reason the volume wasn't working. I didn't know what was happening. Okay, she says loud and clear. All right. Yeah, I'm mad we had to stop it because I feel like I was in the zone, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But in terms of 50 and Papoose, I mean, we have to be honest about 50 Cent. Like I said, this man has, if you look through history, he has caused division in hip hop. Think about it. From his inception of his career, he caused a divide in New York. You couldn't do a record with Ja Rule. If you did a record with Ja Rule, 50 was on your heels. He's putting out a diss record. He did it with Fat Joe. He did it with Jadakiss. that turned into beefing with Cameron. He threw shots at Jay-Z. He didn't beef with every poppin' rapper out of New York. At what particular point in time are we going to say that, 50 is just an agitator? He's just an agitator. He doesn't want to work with people. He doesn't want to help. He just wants to cause division. Just division, division, division. He had no reason to stick his nose in the Papooses and Clarissa Shields relationship. Why is he sticking his nose? Won't you go over there and try to fix your love thing with Vivica Fox? Go find your boo thing and try to find Vivica. Go put a ring on Vivica's finger. Or Chelsea Handler. You go find one of them throwback hoes and try to work on that. Why you messing up Papoose thing? Papoose got a good thing, His girl is a popping boxer. She's winning matches. She's one of the biggest female boxers in the game. She's doing her thing. Why you over there messing that up? Why you over there hating on him and hating on their relationship? Go fix your little thing with Vivica. Go fix your little thing with Chelsea Handler. Go get it. Go get Sierra back. Go get one of them throwback hoes back, man. Stop worrying about other niggas' relationships. Let's just keep it real. Portia said you cute. Thank you, boo. Thank you, Portia. Benjamin says, remember smoking crack with you. I never smoked crack with you ever in life. Rico says, Papoose lives off his woman. People keep saying that. That's the narrative that Papoose is living off these women. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe Remy. Remy said that. She ran with that narrative. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe her. I don't trust women from the Bronx. Women from the Bronx, I don't trust them. A lot of them are just liars. They're charlatans. They're finessers. The reality is Papoose held that woman down when she was in prison. That's a fact. He held that woman down. He did right by that woman. He did everything he could for that woman. That woman was ungrateful. That woman was unfaithful. That woman cheated on him. So let's just keep it real. I think what happened with Remy and Papoose, in my humble opinion, she got tired of the good dude. I'm going to be honest with you. There are some women in life that I've seen it before, so don't tell me that it's not true. There are some women in life that they deal with a good man. They deal with and I'm not saying Papoose is perfect, but relatively a good man. There are women that deal with a good man, and they wake up one day and they say, you know what? He's boring. I want some. I want some. I want some drama in my life. I want something new. Like I'm tired of the continuity of a good man. I'm tired of the narrative. I think she got tired of the narrative of him being a good man. I think she got tired of it. She got tired of of all that narrative. She's seen his faults. And like I said, I don't think that Papoose is perfect, but she's seen his faults clear, and she said that these things don't work for me anymore. This is not the type of man I want. This is not the type of relationship I want, and she chose to go in a different direction. I don't think either one of them was wrong. She got tired of him, and things went the way they went. I think that she was the one that was unfaithful. I think that she was the one that wanted to change in a different direction. Sometimes that happens in relationships. Um, I'm not gonna say that she was wrong, but I think I personally think that's what happened. Rico says, what has Pap done besides sit behind Remy and Clarissa? If he actually tried to make a run, he could have, because he got bars for days. I think that's cap, Rico. I think that's cap. I think that Papooses time in terms of having a career in hip hop and going far in hip hop, I think his dog days are behind him. I'm gonna be honest with you. He had a shot in the mid 2000s. In the mid 2000s, he could have been something. He had $1 million deal from Jive Records. Um, he was popping on the streets. The mixtapes were flying off the racks. He had some motion, but in 2026, there's nothing there for him. In terms of him being catching a hit. And I'm looking at the music industry today. So success for him today would be him catching a hit, him being able to have a sustainable fan base that he can go on tour. That's success today. Is he going to be able to put out a platinum album? No. Is he going to be able to put out a platinum hit or a platinum record or platinum song? I would say no. I don't see it in the stars for him. So relatively, I think that his best days are behind him. He can rap his ass off. We can never take that away from him. But in terms of him having any success in hip hop, I think that his dog days are behind him. Um, Somebody says, "What's something that instantly makes you respect someone?" Oh, that's very easy, and this goes into the whole Papoose Clarissa Shields thing. I think for me, loyalty, right? I think loyalty makes me instantly respect someone. I think finding out that someone's a good person, when you find out that someone's a good person, when you just see that this person has a good spirit, they have a good heart, they're a good human. When you see that in someone, that could be, for me, that would want me to give someone respect. If I see that you're a good human or a good person with manners, and you're a humanitarian, if you just have a kind heart, that would make me respect you, and yeah, so that's what I would that's what would make me feel like that if I had to. Um, Somebody says Fifth not gonna respond musically the same way he didn't with the with the Meek situation. Yeah, listen, 50 Cent, he ain't dropping no music. 50 Cent is not in the hip hop music thing anymore. 50 Cent was never a good rapper, if we're gonna be honest. If we're gonna be honest, 50 Cent was never a good rapper. He had an incredible debut album, and I think he had potential to be a great rapper from that album. From that album, if he would have improved from that album, I think the skies could have been the limit. But I feel like I don't think he wanted to improve on being a better rapper. I think that he wanted to improve on song making and business. I think that his focus was more on business and song making, not necessarily being a great 1-2 rapper, right? Um, but yeah, nobody's expecting 50 Cent to come drop a diss record. I don't think nobody's expecting that. No one's thinking 50 Cent is going to drop Piggy Bank Part 2 or How to Rob or something like that. I don't think that's coming. More than likely, you're going to get 50 Cent trolling, dropping a bunch of memes on Instagram and videos and AI videos. That's his bag now. That's his bag now. He may clown someone on the internet. I don't see a record coming out of this in any way. CJ says free Diddy. That's crazy. Rico says, I woke up like, what the F? What happened to Fifth and Pap? Yeah, we all woke up to that. We all woke up thinking, what's going on with Fifth and Pap? Why are they beefing? Why do they have issues? Why are they going back and forth, with one another? In my opinion, like I said, I think that 50 Cent is a bully. 50 Cent is a bully. He doesn't know when to quit. He doesn't know when to sit down. He doesn't know when, all right, enough is enough. Maybe I should mind my business. Maybe I shouldn't stick my nose into this issue. He doesn't know when to chill. And I think that he has a bunch of enablers. His fans are enablers. They don't know when to morally correct him. They don't know when to morally correct him. Like, I think when he butted in on the Papoose and Clarissa Shields situation or whatever they got going on, they should have morally corrected him. When he put up a post going at Irv Gotti, I think that his fans and his enablers should have morally corrected him. The man is gone. And let's be real, 50 Cent is not from that era. He's not from the era of, because you got the young kids smoking on my dead ops and all that. 50 Cent is not from that era. He's not from the smoking on the dead ops era. So we need to cut that out. That's all new generation stuff. That's all young kid stuff, YN stuff, smoking on your dead man, stuff like that. 50 Cent don't come from that era. 50 Cent comes from the era of when someone passes on, when someone's no longer here, the beef dies. That's the era he's from. He's an old school gangster. 50 Cent was out there selling drugs and getting into fights and thugging and bugging in the 90s. They wasn't living like that. So all of this, dissing Irv Gotti when he passed away, that was corny. That was corny. He did that for his fans. He did that for, the peanut gallery, if you will. He didn't do that because, he felt like that. He did that to appease his fans. He was right about Ja and Irv, though. I disagree. I disagree. I think that the reality with 50 Cent and Irv Gotti and Ja, 50 Cent was a hater. 50 Cent was a hater. 50 Cent was hating that Ja and Irv had the attention of Supreme McGriff. And he had the hood backing of Supreme McGriff. That's what he was mad about. He wasn't mad about nothing else. He was mad that Supreme was running around with them too. And he was giving them their blessing in that hood backing. So, that's what he was mad about. Instead of saying, you know what, let me get with Irv, let me get with Ja, let me try to get on Murder Inc., he decided to take the different route and say, I'm going to hate on those guys, because they was from Hollis, Queens, or, and I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queens. I'm more authentic than them. That's what that was really about. It wasn't really about, when you look at the beefs in hip hop, I mean, really, it's a created beef in 50 Cent's head. 50 Cent wasn't beefing with, Ja Rule and Irv, really. He was really just hating. Go back and look at the beef DVD. Look at the documentaries on 50 Cent and Ja. They don't know each other like that. They ain't got no long history with one another and stuff like that, where they grew up in rival neighborhoods and they were beefing. These two don't know one another like that. 50 Cent created and built a narrative that Ja Rule got his chain snatched by one of 50 Cent's friends, and Ja Rule didn't like 50 because he was hanging around with the dude who stole his chain. He created a whole beef history hating on Ja because of that. Had nothing to do with nothing else outside of that and him, hating on Ja because they got the Supreme backing. It's nonsense when you really look at it. Um, Daniela says, you got women that will take advantage of your kindness. The same with men who take advantage of women's kindness. It's both sides, but women getting worse, sir. I agree. I agree that people do take advantage of people's kindness. I've been on the opposite side of that. I've been taken advantage of by women for being a nice guy. So I agree with what you're saying. But I mean, have we really seen that from Papoose? Have we really seen Papoose really taking advantage of these women? Like, what is he doing to take advantage of Remy? What did he do to take advantage of Remy Ma? Remy Ma is not a platinum selling artist. Remy Ma is not some, world renowned artist flying around the world, respectfully. I don't see how he took advantage of her. Um, in terms of Clarissa Shields, I don't really see him taking advantage of her. I see him supporting her. I see him riding with her, but I don't see him taking advantage of her. I don't see him, for him to take advantage of her, I would have to see him on a private jet eating escargot and shrimp, and he got like 5, 6 baddies on the plane on a private jet with him, and Clarissa Shields is nowhere to be found. That's him taking advantage of her. I don't see that. Everywhere I see them, they're together. I don't see him with all these different women, and while she's out working, I see him right by her side, supporting her. So I don't see what you guys are seeing in terms of, taking advantage of her. That's the narrative that Remy Ma has laid out. Remy Ma has laid out that narrative that Papoose takes advantage of women. But we've seen the opposite of that. We've seen that man do a whole bid with that woman. Plenty of men would have just left Remy Ma high and dry in prison. He rode for that woman. He put his career on the line for that woman. So, I don't really believe that narrative that he's taking advantage of these women. That's just my opinion, though. Um, let me see if I can catch up to some of you guys. Why 50 going at Pap? I don't really know why he's going at Pap. He just posted something with Clarissa Shields and Papoose on an AI generated video, and I guess it just went left. Um, That's my recollection of what happened. Rico says to you're talking to Daniela. Okay, let me get to Daniela. You say I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about in relationships in general these days. I agree. Okay, okay. I don't think he. Rico says I don't really think he took advantage because he literally wrote a lot of her raps. That's a fact. That's a fact. But back to Daniela, they wasn't talking about Papoose. They was talking about in relationships in general. In relationships in general, people are going to get taken advantage of. It happens. There's always going to be someone in the relationship. This is just my opinion, right? So listen closely. There's always going to be someone in a relationship that loves somebody more than the other one. And it's never going to be spoken about. It's never going to be laid out and it's concrete that, yo, clearly I love you more than you love me. Um, some people are never going to see it because you're too in the thick of it. You're too in the thick of the relationship. But it's always going to happen. It's always going to be someone in a relationship that is a little bit more in love with the other person than the other person is in love with them, right? And that feeling of this person is taking advantage of me. This person doesn't love me like I love them. Those feelings are going to happen. It's inevitable. It's going to happen in every relationship. The successful ones and the ones that go bad. There's always going to be someone that loves someone more than the other person loves them. There's always going to be someone that's willing to go that extra mile to be in love with this person, and that person is only going to give you this much. They're not going to go the extra mile with you. They're going to give you that much, just a little bit, just enough. There's always going to be someone that's going to go above and beyond to make it work, above and beyond to show you that they love you. And there's always going to be someone that, they're probably going to placate you. They're going to make you feel that they go above and beyond, but they really don't feel like that. They love you, they care about you, but not as much as you love them. So that's always going to happen in a relationship, in my opinion. Um, Rico says, facts. I literally took care of my BM's oldest as my own his whole life, but she say I don't love her. SMH. That's a fact. That's a fact. That happens. A lot. I've heard women say it 100 times. You don't love me. You don't love me. A guy he'll do everything. He'll give the girl the world. Like you say, he'll take care of a woman's kids. He'll go out every day and work hard and bring home the bacon and he'll do everything he can do as a man to help the woman. That woman will still say, "You don't love me like I love you. You don't love me. You don't love me." I've dealt with that. I've dealt with women who've said that to me. I've given you money. I've helped you with this. I've been there for you. When you got kicked out of your home, I helped you in that situation. When you needed money to buy your mother a gift, I gave to you. I helped you. I've been in those situations. And that same woman that you were there for 100 times, 100 plus times, that same woman will turn around and say, "You don't love me." And if we really gonna be honest, what it is, if we really gonna be honest, what it is, ladies and gentlemen, if we're gonna be honest of what it is, one is narcissism. And what's the other word? I keep forgetting. What's the word? Um, Manipulation is one, but it's also what's the word when it's used to it's the word is it's like used to make somebody feel that they're going crazy when they're not, or to mentally manipulate someone like they're going crazy. um I forgot the name of the word. Forgot the name of it, man. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, oh man. um hopefully somebody will put it in the chat. Rico says, I blame the dads. I wish my daughter would say some ish like that. I'm getting on her ass for disrespecting her guy like that. Yeah, man, listen, it happens. Gaslighting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sinclair. Salute to Sinclair. Yeah. Gaslighting. Let me see if I could pin that. Yeah, let me pin that. Yeah, here we go. Gaslighting. Yes. Yes. 1000%. It's gaslighting. When somebody in a relationship does that to you, when you know in your heart, when you know in your heart of hearts that I've been there for you, I've taken care of you, I've went above and beyond to be there for you, and you've given me this much of you, but you're trying to make me feel that you don't love me, you don't care about me, you are 1000% gaslighting me. It's gaslighting. When somebody does that to you, they're gaslighting you. 1000%. 1000%. And as soon as you realize it, as soon as you fall back and because you have to know in your heart, if you know in your heart that you've been a good person to that woman or to that man, and you feel like that, but they're trying to run with that narrative because an honest person is going to tell the truth. An honest person, if you're dealing with an honest man and he knows you're a good woman, he's going to say you're a good woman. He's going to say, you know what, you've been a good woman to me. You've done this for me. He ain't going to gaslight you. And the same thing with a woman. If a woman is an honest woman and she's going to tell you the truth, she's going to say, yo, I'm gonna be honest. Like you're always there for me, and yada yada yada, right? An honest person is going to tell you the truth. Like, yo, you're always there for me. But if you know in your heart of hearts you're always there for that person or that for that woman or that man, and they're trying to convince you that you don't care about them and you never there for them and yada, they're gaslighting you. They're gaslighting you. 1000% they're gaslighting you. Um, Des Hill says, "Claim your rights to the land. You're indigenous to America, bro." Salute to you. Salute to the indigenous community. Gaining traction. A lot of people are feeling that black people are indigenous to America. I agree that black people are indigenous to America. If you look up the history of slavery, it's only I don't know that I don't have the correct number, but it was a particular number of slaves that came to America. Everybody that came to America on slave ships were not um, African slaves. There were people that were already here that were in captivity and that were forced into slavery. That's a fact. So people should look into that. So yeah, I agree with the indigenous narrative. Now everybody's not indigenous. Like everybody's not a slave as well. Everybody's not a African slave from Africa. But yes, I do agree with the indigenous doctrine that a lot of people have brung forward. Um, Let me see what else we got in here. But yeah, in terms of 50 and Diddy, I just feel like 50, Diddy, and Mano and all these people, Jim Jones. I just feel like 50. He's being enabled by his fan base. He's a very toxic individual. He's a very negative individual. Um, he's kicking Diddy while he's down. I'm no fan of Diddy, but you're kicking a man while he's down. When a man is down and defeated, let it go. Let it go. 50, like what are you doing documentaries on Diddy? Let the man go. Let the man do his 4-year bid. Let him go do what he got to do. We got 16 people in the building. I need you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let Diddy go ahead and do his 4 years. Let him drink his prison hooch. Let him get some jail punani up in the prison system in Fort Dix. He's doing reach arounds in Fort Dix. um, let him do his 4 years in peace. Why are you over here kicking in his back and we're gonna do a documentary on him? It's overkill. It's overkill. He was doing 50 is doing too much. Rico said, Diddy is. Yeah, Diddy having the time of his life. Des says 50 worked for the oppressor. That's a 1000% fact. Yes. Let me hit the bell for you. Matter of fact, hit that bell. Hit that bell. 1000%. That's a fact. 50 does work for the oppressor. I'm going to be honest with you. Irv Gotti had this narrative about 50 Cent being possibly an agent, FBI agent. I wouldn't disagree with that. I think that 50 Cent has worked with law enforcement to a particular degree. Now, do I think that he's wearing wires or, you know, like the traditional sense of a snitch? No. But do I think that he gives information? And I think there's a lot of people in hip hop. I'm not going to say a bunch of people's names, but I think there's a lot of people in hip hop that work closely with law enforcement and give information. And they're like almost agents for whatever you may say. And they have certain protection. You ever wondered why certain people don't get touched? Like you've never seen them get arrested. You've never seen them get looked into by the FBI, or it makes you think. So you hear about certain rappers getting pulled over with drugs and guns in their car and they never see a day in jail. It makes you want to think. It makes you want to think. Some of these people are, working with, working. Let's just say they're working. Rico says, Irv says that because of that restraining order, he dead wrong about that. I'm gonna be honest. The restraining order that Irv was talking about, it's really nothing. It's really nothing. I've seen the foul. The reality is this: when they got into that beef in the studio, 50 Cent got stabbed, and I think Tony Yayo got stabbed, if I can recall. So after that happened, the DJ that 50 Cent was with, he actually cooperated, and he pretty much said about he pretty much said he opened up the can of worms and said what happened that night. So after that night, and that lawsuit got, excuse me, not lawsuit, but that police report got filed. That's when a criminal case came about, where they're putting names in it: Irv Gotti's brother, Ja Rule. And at the end of the day, it got thrown out. I think they wound up paying money. Um, but at the end of that case, the judge gave 50 Cent a protective order. 50 Cent never asked for it. 50 Cent never, cooperated. At that particular time, he never cooperated. He never gave any information. The judge on that particular case gave 50 Cent a protective order. So really, 50 Cent didn't do anything wrong. I think after that, though, after that situation, I do think 50 Cent gave some information, though. But in terms of that situation with the a restraining order, 50 Cent, he didn't give any information in the course of that. The judge, it's in the police report. If you look at the police report, the judge is giving 50 Cent a restraining order against Irv Gotti and Chris Gotti and all those guys. It's not necessarily 50 Cent asking for one, right? So that was what happened with that case, right? In my opinion. We got 16 people in the building. I need you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I need y'all checked in at the check-in report. Let me hit that bell for y'all. Hold on, hit that bell, hit that bell, hit that bell for y'all. Hold on. Had to bring the bell back for y'all. Um, yeah, man. But in terms of this case, listen, 50 Cent needs therapy. 50 Cent needs therapy. You know, and why haven't we seen? Let me ask y'all this: 50 Cent is almost 50 years old, right? Actually, he's probably 50 now, right? 50 Cent isn't he 50, right? He's 50 now. I think 50 Cent got to be 50 now. Why haven't we seen a strong black woman with a ring on her finger when it comes to 50 Cent? He done went from Sierra to Chelsea Handler to this one, that one. Look at all the rappers. Your favorite rappers, majority of them are married. Ludacris, married. Nelly, he got back with Ashanti, married. Ice Cube, married. Snoop Dogg, he been married for years. Why haven't we seen 50 Cent with a prominent black woman on his arms? Why? I'll tell you why. This man has dealt with a lot of hurt. He's dealt with a lot of betrayal. I don't think he trusts women. People don't want to get into the character flaws of people. They want to look past 50 Cent's um, flaws as a human. They don't want to look at what's really going on with 50 Cent. They don't want to look into the eyes of the soul. Because behind all the jokes, behind all the trolling, Behind all the gangsterism and the nonsense is a man that's dealing with a lot of hurt. A man dealing with a lot of hurt and pain, feeling of betrayal, abandonment issues. He's dealing with a lot of hurt and a lot of people. They'd rather just laugh at the jokes. Ha 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 ha. Did you see what 50 said about Ja Rule? Did you see what he said about Papoose? People would rather look at that, but they don't want to look at what's really going on. The man needs therapy. A lot of these rappers and artists, celebrities, they need therapy. You don't think Kanye West needs therapy? You don't think 50 Cent needs therapy? Drake needs therapy? A lot of these niggas need therapy, man. A lot of these niggas got some issues that they're dealing with. They're not gonna tell you. You'll look past it with the trolling. You'll look past it with the hit record. You'll look past it with a hot album, a great interview. You'll look past it once they'll do that. But the issue is still there. That's just the facts. The issues are still there. Daniel Ellis says 50 got that stuff out of the book. 48 Laws of Power. Charles White do the same thing. Yeah, he's a 48 Laws of Powers guy. But I'm gonna be honest with you. 50 Cent needs to grow up. He needs to grow up because at the end of the day, Papoose ain't 50 Cent's enemy. I understand Ja. Okay, you feel like Ja has something to do. You feel like the Ja beef went a little out of hand and he was running around with Supreme McGriff. Okay, I'll give you that one. But Papoose, what is Papoose ain't 50 Cent's enemy. That's not his enemy. Papoose is just a struggling mixtape rapper from the early 2000s that is in a relationship with a female boxer. That's all 50 Cent. That's not his enemy. That's not his enemy, right? If he made even the Diddy situation, he made Diddy his enemy. I don't think Diddy wanted to be 50 Cent's enemy. I think it got to a particular point because we're talking about the 48 Laws of Power, and when it comes to the 48 Laws of Power, these are things that you're supposed to be doing to your enemies or your counterparts or people that you're in competition with, right? When it comes to Diddy, I think that 50 Cent made that personal. He made that issue personal between the two. I don't think that Diddy ever really had a problem with him. Even when he was saying the things about him being fruity or gay, I don't think it ever really bothered Diddy. I think I think at a certain point, he felt like 50 was just leaning in and just like, bro, like you're talking about me all the time. And it's just like, I think he got tired of it and he probably pursued 50 Cent's baby mom. But this is all out of what 50 Cent is doing. This is not nothing Diddy's doing. Diddy's not the one, talking about 50 Cent on every interview and calling him gay or calling him fruity or saying these things about it. It's 50 Cent that was doing this for years. That made it get to a point where he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out to his baby mom. That's what I think Diddy's rationality was. He's like, 50 Cent keeps saying I'm gay or 50 Cent keeps saying that I'm fruity. Well, you know what? I'm going to smash his baby mom. That's what I think Diddy's way of thinking was. I'm going to go after his baby mom because he keeps saying that I'm fruity. He keeps saying that I'm this and he keeps saying that I'm that. So I'm going to go after his baby mom. I'm going to smash his baby mom. That's what I think his rationale was. His rationale was, I'm going to go after his baby mom. Let's go after his baby mom now. That's what his rational thinking was. And I think that was a wrong way to think, but, it is what he thought. Diddy did what 50 would do. I disagree. I disagree. I think that like I said, I think there was a point in time where Diddy didn't want any issues with 50. I don't think Diddy's like that. Diddy didn't want no issues with 50. I personally believe that. I think that it got to a point where Diddy got tired. He got tired of it. He got tired of the way he was talking. He got tired of the things he was saying. So he said, you know what? I'm going to smash your baby mom. He got tired of it. If somebody keeps talking about you, right, all the time, calling you this, calling you that, calling you out of your name, and his baby mom is out there, she's in the streets, she's partying, she's doing this, and you see somebody's baby mom that been talking about you, she looking good, Most people are gonna say, you know what, let me go holler at her. Let me go check the temperature with that young lady. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I think it got to that point because Diddy got tired of it. Diddy got tired of 50 talking about him. So he said, you know, I'm gonna teach that little nigga a lesson. Do I think that what he did was right? No. I think Diddy should have he should have left 50's baby mom alone. I think when he did that, you was crossing a line to an extent. You was crossing a line. Because I'm not messing with nobody's baby mom. If I know that's your baby mom, I'm not messing with her. I don't care how good she looks. If it's your baby mom, it's your baby mom. I don't need to go mess with her. I don't need to be over there with her. I don't need to be talking with her. That's your baby mom. Go rock out. Go have a good time. But that ain't my joint. That's your joint. You go holler. You go mess with that joint. That's your girl, right? But at the end of the day, let me say this about 50. 50's a hurt individual, right? And let me also say this, because I think that this doesn't get spoken about enough when it comes to 50, right? This doesn't get spoken about enough. All these celebrities have dirt on them. Don't get mystified. Don't get, fooled. Don't get under the delusion of inclusion that it's only Diddy. Don't fall under that spell. It's only Diddy. Only Diddy's like this. Only Diddy is this sexually immoral. Only Diddy is an abusive man. Only Diddy is running around naked with baby oil. Only Diddy is like this. Don't fall under that delusion. A lot of these celebrities have these types of lives as well, where they've been abusive to women, where they've had sex that was looked at as immoral, where they've done violent things, where they hurt people. They've hurt people that have been close to them. They've deceived people. They took advantage of people. Don't be fooled that it's only Diddy. It's not only Diddy. This is the industry. Many people have been taken advantage of. Many people have been sexually exploited. Many people have been hurt violently, hurt financially, business-wise. It's a part of the industry. So, people have to get under that. They have to get away from that delusion that it's only Diddy. It's not only Diddy. It's not only Diddy. Diddy's not the only one. He won't be the last one. I can assure you that. Danielle Ellis says, look at Will Smith. Oh, I'm happy we got to talk about Will Smith. Hold on. We got to talk about Will Smith. We got to talk about Will Smith. Hold on. Let's get away for this for 1 second. Let's talk about Will Smith. Let's talk about Will Smith for a sec. Hold on, my nigga. I'm happy you brought up Will Smith. Let me get to Will Smith. Hold on. Hold on. We got to get to Will Smith real quick. Hold on. Let me make a chat real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Because I got a question. Will Smith. Is Will Smith gay? Let's just be honest with each other, with ourselves. I'm asking a question. Is Will Smith gay? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let's talk about this Will Smith situation. Let's talk about the Will Smith situation. Is Will Smith gay? Do you believe that Will Smith is gay? Rico says he been gay since he left West Philadelphia, where he was born and raised. Yeah, majority of people say yes. Listen, I think Will Smith has been gay for years, right? If you look at, I don't know if you guys ever seen Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray talks about how she lost her husband to Will Smith. She said it out her mouth. She said it out her mouth. We're gonna get to Will Smith and the fun boy he had that's accusing him. The fun boy he had. What is he? A violinist or a pianist? Pianist? What is he? I forgot what he is. But some fruity booty is um suing him, right? You know, and he looked real zesty. He got the little green eyes and he got the little movements, little sachet shante movements. Is Will Smith gay? Respectfully. You know, is he gay? Um, but listen, Lisa Ray. I want to get to Lisa Ray first. Lisa Ray said it out her mouth. I lost my husband to Will Smith. She said that they were thick as thieves. She alluded that they had a gay relationship with one another. Actually, it wasn't her who said that they had a gay relationship. It was the assistant, I believe. I think it was one of the assistants said that Will Smith and Dwayne, and this is all allegedly. I have no proof or have no knowledge of it. This is what I heard, right? Or what I was seeing reported. But Lisa Ray said that she lost her husband to Will Smith. One of the assistants said that Dwayne Martin, excuse me, Dwayne Martin and Will Smith were having relations together. And let's get to August Alsina. You know, a lot of people think that the August Alsina Jada Pinkett Smith thing was Jada Pinkett Smith August Alsina thing. I'm under the belief that it may have been a threesome type of thing. It may have been a love triangle thing where August Alsina and Will Smith, they had a little bit something going on, but Will Smith said, "You know what? I'm not really interested in him like that. Jada, you can have him." Where you can make an argument that Will Smith said, "You know what, Jada, you can have him. I'm not really on him like that. I'm on something else right now." You could make an argument that that's what happened. Because come on, what married man is going to allow some young boy to be underneath his roof? I mean, let's just think the ordinary American man. And I know Will Smith is not the ordinary American man, but the traditional American man, who's going to let some man underneath their roof smash their wife, be cool with them, eating dinner with them, you're playing with the kids? Most traditional American men, unless you're a CUCK, are not going to be cool with that, right? I believe it may have been a love triangle threesome. I'm under the delusion that that may have been what was going on. Um, Dookie says Jada is a man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Adam 22, yeah, that's a cook. That's a. Jenny says I think he gobbled. Will Smith looks like a swallower, doesn't he? Will Smith looks like a swallower. Somebody said pause. Oh my gosh. Listen, man. Will Smith, the thing about Will Smith is it doesn't make sense with Will Smith. I've heard Ari Spears talk about this. It doesn't make sense. There has to be something there where either he possibly may be gay, where he possibly may be into something different. There has to be something there because it doesn't make sense. Why does a man that's an action star where all of these women want to be with him, everybody loves him, but he's dealing with relationship issues and the marital problems from a bald-headed 12-year-old boy, Jada Pinkett Smith? It doesn't make sense. And trust me, Will Smith could have had them. He could have had the baddest joint. He could have had Angelina Jolie. He could have had Margie Robbie. He could have had some of the baddest women um, on the planet. He chose to stay with that woman, right? Um, Something tells me that there's something there. There's something there. There's something there that people aren't talking about. It's deeper than what you think. Now, am I saying that Jada Pinkett Smith is his beard? Possibly, possibly. Jada Pinkett Smith may possibly be his beard, where he feels, you know what? In order for me to have or continue the success in America or continue the success in Hollywood, I need a beard because I can't live a life as an openly gay man and be successful the way I want or be looked at the way I want to be, right? In terms of Hollywood. So he chose to have Jada as a beard. That may be what it is. I don't know. I have no proof, but possibly that could be what's going on. You know? There's something there, though. Jenny says he probably convinced her to shave her head. Her alopecia probably wasn't even that bad. I agree. I agree. I think that he possibly told her that, you know what, maybe you should try this. To give that aesthetic, that Cynthia Erivo look, Because when you look at Cynthia Erivo, she gives a very masculine energy. She has very masculine energy, right? She doesn't come off very feminine. She's not very. She doesn't exude femininity. She has that very masculine energy about her, and I think Jada has that as well. She doesn't wear it like a Cynthia Erivo, but she does have it. She does have that masculine energy. You know. Jenny says yes, she does. Jada, Will has feminine energy. That's a fact. I agree. I agree. He does have that feminine energy. Um, yeah, but when it comes to Will Smith, it's something there. It's something there. Um, it's something there. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's something there. It doesn't make sense because when you look at the life of a Leonardo DiCaprio, these are all like womanizing Hollywood heartthrobs. When you look at a Leonardo DiCaprio, a George Clooney, a Johnny Depp, um, and you look at that's that womanizing side, right? And then you look at the other side of the happily married couple. You look at the Denzels, you look at the other white actors with their wives. And somewhere in the middle, it's Will Smith because he doesn't have the happily marriage. And it feels like he almost wants to have this womanizing, or he should have been womanizing when he was at the top of his career. He's somewhere in the middle where it just quite doesn't make sense. It doesn't quite make sense. It doesn't quite, really make sense all the way. Um, Daniela says the way he used to act on Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and he came up under Quincy. That's a good point, and we all know about Quincy. We all know about Quincy. Quincy, he talked about it. Him and Marlon Brando, him and Richard Pryor. It was a lot of reckless gay sex going on back then. Let's just say that. A lot of reckless gay sex going on back then. A lot of reckless gay sex back then. Dan Val says, "Yo, what's good? What's good?" In terms of this whole Papoose, 50 Cent, Mano, Fabulous, Jim Jones, Dave East thing, I think that 50 Cent he's been a disruptor to New York. Um, it's crazy that about 20 years ago, 50 Cent was beefing with all of New York rappers. And here we are 20 years later, and he's beefing with 20 New York rappers again. It's very interesting that he's back here again. Um, I don't think 50 is going to make this interesting, though. Especially if you're thinking musically. Musically, he's not going. 50 Cent is not getting in a booth. He's not getting in a booth to spit a 16. He's not going to drop a mixtape. So anybody looking for that, it's not going to happen. More than likely, he's going to troll his way out of all of these situations. He's going to troll Papoose. He's going to troll the Let's Rap About It podcast. He's going to troll these guys. He's probably going to do some digging, find out what's going on behind the scenes, what's happening with these people behind the scenes. Probably influence that, probably throw some money around. But if you're looking for this to be a musical endeavor between these individuals, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get any music out of that. You may get some music on the other side from a Papoose or a Fabulous or the other guys, but you're not going to get no music from even like Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder. You're not getting no music from those guys. You're not getting any music from those guys. So don't even think that you're going to get any type of music from those guys. You're going to get a lot of trolling, a lot of things of that nature. If I had to, if I had to, if I had to take a guess on that situation, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, NHC says G unit. Did anybody here? Did anybody here? Actually, let me ask this question. Why did 50 Cent and G Unit fall off? Why did 50 Cent and G Unit fall off? Sirius said, "Did Papoose drop a diss track? Nah, he didn't drop. He didn't drop a diss track yet. Nah. I think you'll get one. I think that if this beef continues and cooler heads don't prevail, I think that you will get a diss track from Papoose eventually. But he hasn't dropped one yet. I do think you'll get one. Maybe not a diss track. Maybe a freestyle. Yeah, I don't think Papoose gonna do a whole song on 50 right now. I think that he's too busy, running behind Clarissa Shields. He may not have time to be doing a song dedicated to 50. But a freestyle, he may be able to do a freestyle right now. A freestyle, I can see that. Sinclair says, so you're saying he's 8 years out from doing bar mitzvahs? I can see that. I can see Papoose, on stage at a bar mitzvah, doing the alphabetical slaughter, A through J. I can see that. Jenny says Kanye and Auto-Tune came up. That's a fact. That's probably why he fell off. Why that G Unit style, that G Unit era fell off. But in my opinion, I just feel like 50 was so much of a megastar and so much of a hip hop superstar. Why didn't he adapt? Everybody adapted. Think about it. Every superstar from that era, let's say from 2003 and up, everybody adapted. Remember, Lil Wayne came in the game in 97, 96, 97. He come in the game as a hot boy. By the mid 2000s, he's doing auto-tune. He's one of the best lyrical rappers in the game. He adapted. Kanye West. In the 90s, he was just a beat maker. He just sitting down making beats. By the 2000s, he's a Jesus Walks. He's doing auto-tune. He's rapping. He's making beats. He's one of the best producers and one of the best rappers. He adapted. For some reason, 50 Cent didn't adapt. Musically, not business-wise. He adapted business-wise. We got to give him that. He had great business dealings, Vitamin Water, the G Unit sneaker, all of that, Reebok, all of that. He evolved musically. He evolved business-wise, but he did not evolve musically. He stagnated musically. But business-wise, he did evolve. All of his peers musically evolved. He did not. Jenny says, but in the long run, he's adapted into a TV making Netflix documentary. I agree. Listen, he maybe that's what it was. Maybe he just adapted into the the business realm, and that was his only think he could adapt. Maybe he hit his ceiling in terms of musically. Calvin says it is possible to believe in human rights and support abortion at the same time. We're not talking about abortion and stuff that tonight, man. This is not. This is about 50 Cent and Papoose. Okay, we'll get to abortion and human rights another day. All right, let's stay on topic here. Jenny says, "I typed that as you was saying the same thing." Yeah, Jenny. I agree with that point. I agree. I agree with that point. I think that he hit his ceiling musically, but his calling was to adapt business wise. I think that he hit his ceiling musically. Because if you really if you really think about 50 Cent, he was never the best rapper. Um, he can make an incredible hook and he can make incredible songs, but he was never lyrically as good as a Lloyd Banks or or even the Game. It was his calling was more so the hooks in the song making. So I think musically he hit his ceiling at a certain point, but business wise, I think he was only to begin. He had a lot. He had a lot to achieve, and he adapted well. You got to give him his. You got to tip your hat to him business wise. I mean, I don't know how you could not. You know. Yeah. I agree with that point. Um, Yeah, yeah, Calvin. I'll address that at one point. Abortion and human rights. We'll talk about that at one point. Not tonight though. Not tonight. But thank you for subbing though. I appreciate that. Um, Jenny says he should go into comedy too. Uh he 50 Cent is not really. He's not a comedian type funny. He's more of a exposer troll type of funny. I don't think 50 could give you um let's go let's go 15 minutes. I don't think 50 could give you 15 minutes on stage. It takes skill to be a comedian. Some people think you could just go on stage and just do it. It takes skill to work a crowd. I think 50 could work a crowd, but I don't think 50 could sit on stage. And well, maybe he could. Maybe if he just trolled his way for 15 minutes, maybe he could. If he just trolled on there for 15 minutes, maybe he could do it. I'm just saying that it takes skill to be a comedian though. It's not as easy as y'all think. Salute to FBA. He says bomedy. You know, yeah, man. 50 Cent. Let me ask y'all this question. Let me put it in the poll. Actually, hold on. I have to ask this question. Let me ask this question to y'all. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Let me know. I'm loading. I'm loading it. I'm loading it. I'm loading it right now. If 50 Cent dropped an album, would you listen today? If he dropped an album, let's say a surprise album like Beyonce or a surprise album, he just dropped it out of nowhere. Would you listen to it? It's been a long time since he dropped an album. Would you guys be interested in a 50 Cent album in 2026? You know, Majority of y'all say yes. Would you be interested? Would you want to listen? Would you care to listen? Is his voice important in 2026? You know? I mean, I know y'all see him. Y'all see him on the G Unit tour, going like this. Find me in the club, bottle full of bub, double double bub. Every time he's on stage, he's doing this. Bottle full of bub, 21 questions, many men, many men. His whole performance is going like this. Would you want An album full of 16 songs full of that. Would you want that? Could you handle that? Jenny says, I'd listen, but for the Diddy disses. Conscious says, if we're being honest, Ja Rule music has aged better than 50s. I'm gonna get back to that one. Daniela says, y'all forget Kanye outsold him. That's a fact. He did. He definitely did. Graduation sold 900 pieces, 900,000 pieces, and 50 sold 700,000. Now let's get back to Conscious, right? Conscious says, if we're being honest, Ja Rule's music has aged better than 50 Cent's. Listen, let me think about it for a second. I'm thinking for a second. Hold on. I'm gonna say this. I still think 50 Cent has a better album than anything Ja Rule has put out on an album. But if we're just talking about timeless music, they both have timeless music. They both have timeless music. You know, I think both of them have made timeless music. If we're just talking about song for song, they both got hit records that I love. And I love I'm Real. I love If I Cry, You Cry. I love Living It Up. I love Thug Lovin'. I love Always on Time. I love those records. But in terms of an album, Ja Rule never put out an album that was like a Get Rich or Die Trying. He never had that in his catalog. You know, he was never an album artist. To be honest, he was never an album artist. You know, I don't remember back then. I don't think I don't like. I'm trying to remember. Like I was very young. You know, when Ja Rule was at his peak. At his peak, because 03, 2003. I'm just going into high school, so we're talking about 2002, 2001. I was still, I mean, I was like in what, middle school. Ja Rule was popping, but you know, nobody that I knew had a Ja Rule album. We loved the singles. Like I remember watching, Ja Rule's Always on Time. Gave you my What would I do without my baby? I remember seeing all of those videos, playing those videos on TV over and over. I remember hearing the radio play them over and over. But I never was around anybody that had a Ja Rule CD. I don't recall it. I don't remember my older cousins coming into the house. Yo, I got the new Ja Rule CD. Or my older brother coming in the house. Yo, I got the new Ja Rule. I don't remember that. Nobody that I knew, whether it be family and you're getting trickle down economics, or whether it's friends and they're telling you about it, nobody ever really told me about Ja Rule had great albums. When 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Trying, everybody had that. I remember kids was coming to the school with the damn G Unit Get Rich or Die Trying album. I remember that. Niggas had it on bootleg. Niggas had the real CD. That shit was everywhere. I don't remember Ja Rule's albums ever hitting that fever pitch with everybody having it. So I would have to say, I would have to give the nod to 50 of having better albums. Now, in songs, I think they both have timeless songs. Yes. They both have timeless songs. Um, No Microphone says Ja Rule sounds like he got a potato stuck in his throat when he rap. That was his signature style. Pain is Love is his best album. That was from Conscious. Conscious also says Ja mastered the R&B rap duet. The songs with Shanti and Jennifer Lopez aged well. I agree. I agree. I agree. What would I do without my baby? That girl got me going crazy. Come on, you needed that. Your heart needed that. Your soul needed that. And we have to give props to Ja Rule for putting love into hip hop. You know, there's been plenty of times. My fault, y'all. There's been plenty of times in hip hop where hip hop was infiltrated by narratives, right? There was a point in time where hip hop was infiltrated. Everybody had to be a gangster rapper. Everybody had to be a trap star. Um, Everybody had to fit into a specific mold. And there have been people who have changed the narrative. Let's implement some love into hip hop. You know, Ja Rule did that. You know, I think that Ja Rule implemented love into hip hop when it needed love. Hip hop needed love. You had too many gangster rappers. You got Jay-Z on every record talking about how much dope he sold. You got Ja Rule. I mean, you got DMX talking about all the niggas he robbed and all this. You needed a Ja Rule to come in there and implement some love. You got the Southern artists throwing bowls, getting crunk. You needed somebody like Ja Rule to say, "What would I do without my baby?" You needed that. Your heart, your soul, your spirit, your love. Love. What's wrong with having love in hip hop? 50 hated on that. Remember that. 50 hated on that. You know, Ja Rule was never no rah-rah. He was not like DMX. He was never no rah-rah type of artist. He could do that, but he was never known for that. He was more for the love ballads. 50 hated on that. That's not hip hop. Y'all niggas making love songs. And as soon as 50 Cent became a star, what he do? Girl, you see, is it a love me now? Hating on him. But you was a hypocrite. Cause here you come with a song for the ladies. Here you come talking about love. Come on. He was hating. 50 was a pure utter hater. Pure utter hater. You dissed Ja Rule for making love songs. You said it wasn't hip hop. But as soon as you get your black ass in hip hop, girl, it's easy to love me now. You came with Smile with Lloyd Banks. I'll take you to the candy shop, give you what I got. Come on. Was that hip hop? How is I'll take you to the candy shop, give you all I got. How is that hip hop? But I'm real. The way you talk, the way you walk. How is that not hip hop? But I'll take you to the candy shop, give you what I got. How is that more hip hop than I'm real? How? But he somehow brainwashed and convinced the masses that, oh, this is more hip hop than that. Like, come on. Come on. Let's tell the truth about 50. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the pure, unadulterated truth about 50 Cent. Let's tell it. Let's tell the truth. Nah, Jenny, we telling the truth. Jenny, come on, Jenny. We gotta tell the truth, Jenny. Come on. Jenny says, leave 50 alone. We gotta tell the truth. 50 is an incredible artist. He's an incredible businessman. But he was hating. He was a hypocrite. He was hating and he was a hypocrite when it came to Ja. You know? He was hating. And another thing when it comes to 50, right? People forget all of the hype that went into 50. 50 had so much hype that went into that debut album. People forget. Let's go down the things that were implemented into that debut album that people love to forget. They love to forget that 50 Cent had a record with Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Why do niggas forget that? 50 Cent had a record with Tupac and also had a record. I'm talking about record with this one and a record with that. Solo records with each one before the album comes out. People forget that. Realest Killer and what was it? What's the record with Tupac? It was the boom, 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 boom. I forgot the name of it. I know the hook was "To Machiavelli Returns is all eyes on me." I forgot those two, but those two records, right? Then you got the Beef DVD. The Beef DVD came out around the time the album came out. More promotion. He's running around with Eminem. This is Eminem's artist. You got the biggest, greatest um artists running around with you. You got Dr. Dre, the best producer, running around with you, right? You're hot on the mixtapes. You're everywhere on the mixtapes. He had a lot betting on him. He had a lot of hype around him before that debut album came out. People forget he had a lot going on. A lot going on. Yeah, man. I'm just telling it how it is, man. Just telling it what it is, man. Jenny says, I don't know much about his come up, so I can't disagree, but I love that man. Iris says, every artist has at least one top 10 song. Leave it or become a lyricist yourself, my man. Conscious says, 50 had dudes wearing bulletproof vests in the club. That's motion. That's a fact. He did. He did. He had niggas wearing G-Unit halter tops. Don't forget about that. He had niggas wearing G-Unit brassieres. Niggas was wearing G-Unit brassieres in the club. G-Unit sneakers, G-Unit Reebok sneakers in the club. Come on. We can't take that away from him. Daniela says it goes back to that 48 Laws of Power book. You know? Iris says, I know hip hop. I'm 58 from the Bronx. Hip hop, a hippie. I don't doubt that you know hip hop. Yeah, man, but in terms of 50, let me just see what I said in terms of his album. 50 Cent drop. Okay, 11 votes. People said, out of 11 votes, 64% said yes and 36% said no. So majority of you guys don't want a 50 Cent album. I don't blame you. I don't want a 50 Cent album in 2026. I don't. I think 50 Cent is beyond his prime years in terms of being an MC and a song maker. I don't want it. So I can't blame you guys for not wanting it because I don't want it. So you guys are just telling the truth. You guys are telling the truth. I can't get mad at you guys for telling the truth. You know, I can't. You know, I can't. Now let me ask y'all this, right? Because we're gonna get into it. Let's get into it. Um, what is his issue with not Diddy? What's his issue with Jay-Z? What's his issue with Jay-Z? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. I just want to change my shoe. Woo. Oh, man. What is his issue with Jay-Z? What is 50 Cent's issue with Jay-Z? What is his issue? What is his problem? Why is he always mentioning Jay-Z? Alluding to Jay-Z, Jay-Z, Jay-Z. Oh, Jay-Z. Jay-Z has something to do with this Diddy thing. Jay-Z has something to do. He's involved. What is his issue with Jay-Z? Does 50 believe that Jay-Z and Diddy has something to do with maybe his fall off in New York hip hop, something to do with maybe, let's say sandbagging him in terms of his musical career. Does he believe that? Does he believe that? Maybe blocking him business wise. I'm just asking the question. Because what's his gripe with Jay Z? You know, is it just competition or is it something there? And a lot of times it will be just competition with 50, but he'll turn it into something else. Because I believe it started as competition with Diddy. It started as competition and then it turned into something else. And then 50 tries to make it seem like it was nothing. No, it was something, nigga. It was deeper than what you think, what you're saying. Sometimes 50 just rolls like the feds, man. He kind of rolls like the feds a little bit to me. Um, Jenny says 50 blamed Jay-Z using Kanye to outsell him. There we go. We got our thinking caps on tonight. There we go. That could be one reason that he's holding a grudge against Jay-Z. Because I think that was in the Jay-Z book where he was pretty much going at 50 talking about, oh, we outsold him and all this stuff like that. That may be what it is, yeah. That may be what it is. That may be what it is. But at one point in time, 50 and Jay Z did business together. They did do business together. Remember, they had the Reebok commercial, the S. Carter G Unit Reebok commercial. They did business together at one point. There was a point in time where I'm not going to say that they were buddies or friends, but they were at least, cordial in business. They felt like they could do business together. Now that's changed since 20 years later. But they were, doing business at one point in time, one particular point in time or another. You know, did it sour that bad because of that Kanye West battle that he initiated? Let's not forget he initiated that battle. It's not like Kanye was looking for a smoke. Kanye was just, a great artist putting out great music, and he didn't want to move his date. 50 Cent said, "Yo, no, we're gonna battle. We're gonna sell some records now." It is what it is. You know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Very peculiar. Y'all really don't want that 50 Cent album, man. Y'all really not y'all not jacking a 50 Cent album in 2026 is interesting. You guys are so enamored with his memes, his trolling, all of the little antics he does online, but y'all don't want 16 tracks from him. That's very telling to me. Y'all don't want 16 tracks from Curtis, but y'all invested in y'all invested in the trolling. Y'all not invested in some tracks though. Y'all invested in some trolling. That tells me something. Y'all rather another Diddy doc. Y'all don't want a 50 Cent album. Y'all don't want that. Y'all could toss that. Y'all could keep that. You can keep that 50. We don't want that. You keep that in the hard drive, my nigga. It's very interesting. Yeah, yeah, they were going after everybody. They was going after D Block. They was going after this one, that one. That was what G Unit was known for, just beefing with everybody. But listen, guys, I'm gonna close out. That's pretty much all I have to say on this topic. But let me know what you guys think in terms of this topic. 50 Cent, um, Clarissa Shields, Papoose. Is 50 Cent doing too much? I think he's doing too much. I think he's doing too much. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. If this is your first time here, thank you for being here. Make sure you guys get checked in. We're gonna do more live streams. We're gonna do more vertical lives. We're gonna do more all different types of lives where we just talk and say what we gotta say and go in and go out. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. Um, so if it's your first time, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you get checked in. Salute to Sinclair for holding me down in the chat. Salute to FBA. I forgot FBA was in here earlier. Salute to everybody in the chat. You guys have a good weekend. I may come back on in a few. if I see something that's worth talking about, because I'm not really tired. I'm probably gonna grab a beer and kick back for a few. But if I see something worth talking about, I'm definitely gonna come back on right away. Yeah, so I'm just kind of cool and I'm kind of chilling. I hope you guys are enjoying your new year. I was gonna do a New Year's show, but I was feeling really bad. I've been sick for a couple of days, man. I've been wanting to do videos, but I've just been sick, man. I've been sick for like mad long. So we're gonna get back into the groove. We're gonna be more active for the new year. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys get checked in. And I'll see you guys another stream, man. We'll probably come back on later. We'll see how that works out. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.